lot of soul.
So, hi Louise, and welcome to the second week of the Tunebreaker Top 5, and number 4 in the Tunebreaker Top 5. What exactly does that mean for you?
I'm really honoured. It's really encouraging to know that people are enjoying my music, particularly as I didn't even put myself into the chart. My husband did.
Really?
And didn't tell me about it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So your husband nominated you for the chart, and you got into the top 5. Did you? When were you made aware of this? Actually, when were you made aware that you were put into the Tunebreaker top 5, or sorry, into the Tunebreaker chart?
He came back from work and said, "You're number 7," and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, "What do you mean?" And then he showed me what he'd done. But I've forgiven him now. I'm actually really pleased.
So, come here, your husband's obviously very, very supportive of your music then.
Oh, definitely. He's my biggest fan. He's probably sat outside the door now.
And he would probably consider himself as your luckiest fan as well, you know what I mean? The biggest fan happened to be married to your idol. Well, there you go. You can't get any better than that, can you?
True.
So, come here. You're based where?
I'm now in Devon.
Devon.
I've only been here for a month and a half. So.
But you're originally from?
Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire, okay. I've been to Devon. I've had ice cream in Devon, as you must. You know, it's an absolutely must. Love Devon. I lived in England for a long time, and Devon was a regular visit for me. So I'm actually quite envious, actually, to be honest, that you're living in Devon.
It's rained ever since I moved here.
Really? Yeah, well, I mean, I told you that I lived abroad there, and ever since I came back to Ireland, it's rained here too. So I mean, don't worry about it. So come here, how would you describe your music? I know there's a Christian element to it, so but apart from that, how would you describe it? Is it folky? Is there a pop element to it, or what is it?
I think it's primarily pop, but all my songs are piano based because I'm a pianist. So when I sit and write, I'm sat there with my piano, and then that carries on throughout the recording process. But yeah, like a light pop with a few jazz influences. Yeah. And
who? Because I quite like jazz myself now. But who would your jazz influences be?
I've got a mind blank. Jacques Lussier. I listen to a lot of him because he's the pianist as well. Who else? I've got complete mind.
No, you're on the spot now, and that's unfortunate. You know, so don't worry about it. So come here. What aspirations do you have with your music, and where would you like to see, well, what your contributions have? Where would you like to see your contributions go?
Well, my real passion is in the writing process. Okay. So I want to continue writing, and I don't necessarily mind if I'm not the artist, sort of share my music.
Sure.
Whether that could go into sort of film or television or continue. I've got, a possible second album.
Great.
In the process now. So yeah, I just want to keep writing. I don't really mind what comes of it.
Okay.
Just as long as people enjoy what they're hearing.
Well, obviously they are. I mean, number 4 in week number 2, and as the weeks roll in, the numbers are getting greater. So I mean, 4 is quite an achievement. Do you have, or better way to ask this question, who would your inspirations be?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, my faith is a big part of my songs. I mean, sure. I write secular music as well.
Okay.
But mainly my life, sort of what I go through, I tend to write about. Musically, I love Vanessa Carlton.
Excellent.
And a lot of classical music. My dad's a massive music buff, and he would torture me with all sorts of music growing up, and that's kind of filtered in to what I listen to now. So my dad's been a real driving force in my music career.
Would you find that your classical, would you find that influences you heavily, or maybe just mildly or so?
Probably mildly, but if I was to ever go and see music,
yeah.
I'd want to go see classical, because I find it affects me the most. I think it's just so deep and melodic, and the harmonies are just stunning, and that's probably what inspires me to then go write, but then I don't write anything classical, as it were.
Sure, sure. Listen, Louise, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I really, really am delighted that we've had this opportunity to meet.